gas prices have been a pretty big concern since they rose sharply at the beginning of the Russian invasion into Ukraine. Of course, they had been rising previously. Now, the cause for the spike in fuel prices, of course, that coincided with the aforementioned invasion, also coincided with as a result of the pandemic, OPEC raising, or I should say, lowering their production, and as well as rising demand following the pandemic. Now, also important to point out is the role of corporate greed. Now, even though President Biden does not actually control gas prices, no president controls gas prices, the right wing still loves to attack him, and they attack all Democratic presidents when gas prices are high, and they tend to give all the credit to Republican presidents when gas prices are low. However, of course, when gas prices are high under Republicans, they completely ignore it, and when gas prices are low under Democrats, they also ignore it. It's fascinating how that works. But, that is until now, which I think is really interesting. So here's an example. Here's Fox News saying lower gas prices are now maybe not a good thing.
In Delaware and northern Maryland, regular gas is about anywhere from $4.55 to $4.80 a gallon. So the price is beginning to creep back down.
It is. And the point was made over the weekend, I believe it was the Wall Street Journal, that gas prices are actually coming back down historically faster with the price of oil than usual. And it just goes to show you what an incredible risk reward calculation has to happen on the part of those small, independently owned, most of them, mom and pop gas stations. It's a struggle for all of them.
I'm really worried about the mom and pop gas stations. I mean, gas is going down too fast. Wait, hold on. So understand how this narrative has changed, okay? So look, I'm going to go and I put together a compilation of some of the different reports from Fox News talking about how Joe Biden has been destroying oil and gas, and it's all part of his evil plan to push the Green New Deal. In fact,
Biden's plan to destroy America.
Over an economy built on fossil fuels. Well, you'd first have to break the existing economy.
It's almost as though they're moving us deliberately into like a Venezuela kind of thing.
Like we all know this, he aims to obliterate our oil and gas industry.
You might use a war underway across the world to declare an energy shortage in your country and then make fossil fuels unaffordable for the average person.
So it's bad enough the woke Bidens have relied on nutty ideas like the social cost of carbon. But they've also added states and counties and native tribes into the decision-making process.
But when it comes to energy prices and it comes to gas in particular, I think we need to remember that this is the result of deliberate policy on the part of the Democrats, and it seems like they're more focused on shutting down the fossil fuel industry than keeping gas affordable for everyday Americans.
He's waged war on American energy domestic production, and that's why you see gas prices through the roof.
Like day by day, this anti-fossil fuel obsession is making us weaker. So we've gone from self-sufficient to dependent. We're beggars for energy from despots around the world.
Huh. Interesting. So, look, we go from Biden's policies on fossil fuel are destroying America and making you pay more on purpose in order to push green energy and or making us dependent on Saudi Arabia. I'm assuming that they mean Saudi Arabia, which is funny because they love Saudi Arabia. They love our allies because we're literally working together with them to bomb Yemen into the Stone Age. And look, we were doing so under Trump. Weird. But yet we went from that to, guys, whoa, gas is going down too fast. Will someone please think of the mom and pop gas station owners? Really? So for one, I've never seen a mom and pop gas station. I'm sure they used to exist, but pretty much all I see now are chains. So, what this is pure Fox News Biden derangement syndrome. Now, look, I get all sorts of shit for criticizing Biden, right? For legitimate things. But here is Fox News criticizing the president who does not control gas prices for ridiculous things. And so, I mean, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. But again, as George W. Bush said, I wish I had a magic wand for gas, low gas, low gas. No, there is no magic wand. And furthermore, look, the Green New Deal, I got news for you. It's not in effect. It's never been passed. In fact, a lot of the climate agenda that Biden has done has been through executive order. Now, while he's done some good things through executive orders, he's also expanded oil and gas leases, even when he said he wasn't going to expand oil and gas leases. So, and furthermore, again, the Democratic establishment is not in favor of the Green New Deal because it's too progressive, it's too bold. In fact, Nancy Pelosi called it the Green Dream or whatever. So, look, establishment Democrats also are invested in oil and fossil fuel stocks. Joe Manchin is a literal coal baron. And look, these companies, these oil companies, they've had money. And what have they done with it? Well, instead of drilling new wells that could have increased the supply that Biden gave them leases on, by the way, where they could drill, they've instead done billions of dollars of stock buybacks and have given out dividends while keeping their supply low, which means prices stay high while demand is high. And now, of course, that's there's more supply now, partly thanks to Biden releasing some of the strategic reserve, but now there's also less demand because we're looking at a recession, a possible recession. I would say that we're already basically in a recession. And look, that's a result of the Federal Reserve raising interest rates to try to fix inflation, which will not actually fix inflation. It will not actually make gas more cheaper. It will actually not make groceries cheaper. And that's not me saying it. That's Jerome Powell when he was questioned by Elizabeth Warren asking that, hey, if you hike interest rates, will that do anything to lower food prices? Will that do anything to lower gas prices? And he said, no. Well, so then what the hell's the point? What the hell's the point? Well, it turns out the point is for them to make unemployment higher. Now, the one thing is that unemployment is actually really low. It's at record lows, 3.6%. And there are a lot of companies that are like, we just can't keep people. We can't keep people working. Nobody wants to work. Nobody wants to work. No, nobody wants to work for lower wages. And so the solution pushed by the Federal Reserve is to increase interest rates to try to force a recession, to slow down demand, to increase unemployment, to drive down wages. So at the end of the day, that's going to cause more economic pain and not actually fix the problems with inflation. It's just going to make it so that more people struggle in poverty. And at the end of the day, unfortunately, that's what a lot of these people in power want, especially the ghouls over at Fox News. They want you to be, to have less money. They want you to be desperate for work, to work for lower wages, while still paying higher prices. They want you to get further into debt while they continue to make record profits.